March 27th, 1977. In the cool haze of a Spanish island, hundreds of travelers expect a routine day. The promise of sunshine, a quick flight, and home soon after. Instead, Los Rodeos airport fills beyond capacity, strained by a terrorist diversion that forces giant jets to taxi down the only runway. Among the crews, KLM's chief 747 instructor feels duty time running out. Pan Am's cabin prepares weary passengers for another wait. Seconds later, the normal calm will fracture. 583 lives lost, the deadliest accident in aviation history. How did two state-of-the-art jets collide on the same strip of tarmac? This is the story of the Tenerife airport catastrophe and the unseen pressures that made disaster possible. Inside the Pan Am 747, the cabin is heavy with the hush of fatigue. Most of the passengers are older couples, retirees from the United States, their faces drawn from a journey that began the day before in Los Angeles. This was supposed to be the final, easy leg, a short hop to Las Palmas, then a cruise, warm sun, and rest. Instead, they find themselves stranded on an unfamiliar island, the aircraft parked among a crowd of other diverted jets. The air is close, tinged with the scent of coffee and jet fuel. Some passengers clutch books or crossword puzzles, others doze, heads resting against windows streaked with condensation. Cabin crew move quietly through the aisles, offering reassurance and fresh drinks, answering the same questions with practiced patience. "We'll be on our way soon," one stewardess says, her voice gentle. The crew keep their own worries hidden, focusing on small comforts, blankets for the cold, extra snacks for the restless. In the galley, they check supplies and review evacuation cards, a routine gesture before every takeoff. Overhead bins rattle softly as the plane shifts, engines humming in the distance. Outside, fog presses against the fuselage, turning the view to white. For now, the passengers trust in the familiar rituals of flight. Seatbelts, safety cards, the calm authority of uniforms. No one expects anything but another delay, another round of waiting. The sense of routine is a thin shield, holding back the unease that flickers beneath the surface. In the KLM cockpit, Jacob Van Zanten sits in the left seat, a familiar figure to every pilot in the company. His face appears in training manuals and airline adverts. His reputation is built on thousands of hours in the 747 and on the authority that comes with being chief instructor. Today, that reputation carries weight. The two men beside him, First Officer Klaas Moers and Flight Engineer Willem Schroeder, know his standards and know that few would question his decisions. Van Zanten's word is the final one. Outside, the fog thickens and the hours slip away. Each minute on the ground brings Van Zanten closer to breaching the Dutch duty time regulations, strict rules enforced by his airline and the authorities back home. If the crew cannot depart soon, they risk being forced to stay overnight with hundreds of passengers, a logistical and reputational headache for KLM. Dispatch has already reminded him the clock is ticking and the company expects a solution. Van Zanten decides to refuel at Tenerife. It's a calculated move. By topping up the tanks now, he plans to leave Las Palmas quickly, minimizing turnaround and keeping within his legal flying hours. But refueling adds delay, and the pressure mounts. The longer they wait, the greater the risk of missing the duty cutoff. Each glance at the clock brings a fresh jolt of urgency. In the cockpit, the routines are brisk. Checklists are run, clearances reviewed, but the sense of time pressing in is unmistakable. The captain's impatience is quiet but present, shaping every exchange. When Van Zanten speaks, the others listen. In this hierarchy, hesitation is rare. The crew's focus narrows. Get airborne, stay on schedule, avoid the consequences of delay. The atmosphere is charged, not with panic, but with the heavy insistence of duty and expectation. Fog settles over Los Rodeos like a shroud, thickening by the minute. Out on the active runway, the Pan Am 747 inches forward, its nose lights carving tunnels through a wall of white. Captain Grubbs and First Officer Bragg lean forward in their seats, searching for any sign of the exit they've been told to take. The instructions were clear enough: leave the runway at the third exit on the left. But out here, the world has shrunk to a few blurred meters. Taxiway markings vanish in the haze, and the painted signs, small, unlit, half swallowed by the gloom, offer no help at all. Visibility drops below 300 meters. From the cockpit, the crew can barely make out the edge lights, let alone the crucial turnoff. Bragg counts intersections, straining for shapes in the fog. "Is this it?" he asks. Grubbs hesitates. The angle is sharp, the space too tight for a fully loaded 747. "No, that's not enough room." They roll past, uncertain if they've just missed their only chance to clear the runway. In the cabin, passengers sense nothing of the tension up front. But on the flight deck, the crew's routine is under siege. Instruments become their only guide. Memory and guesswork fill the gaps left by absent signage. Every second spent searching for the exit keeps them exposed, still on the active runway. Somewhere behind, another 747 waits, engines idling, its crew growing restless. The fog presses in, muting sound and distorting distance, erasing the line between safety and danger. For the Pan Am pilots, the next moments will demand precision, yet the world outside offers only confusion. In the tower, every radio call stacks atop the last. The controller's voice is clipped, the frequency crowded. KLM's cockpit leans in, listening for a single word, the word that means they can go. "KLM 4805 is now ready for takeoff, and we're waiting for our ATC clearance," the captain announces. The reply comes, "KLM 4805, you are cleared to the Papa Beacon. Climb to and maintain flight level 90. The first officer reads it back, adding, "We are now at takeoff." It's not the standard phrase, but the meaning seems clear enough, at least inside the KLM cockpit. Across the airwaves, transmissions begin to overlap. Pan Am tries to report. "And we're still taxiing down the runway, the Clipper 1736. At that instant, the controller transmits, "Okay, stand by for takeoff. I will call you." The two voices collide. In both cockpits, a sharp squeal drowns out the words. For 3.74 seconds, the frequency is nothing but noise. The KLM crew misses the crucial instruction, "Hold for takeoff." The Pan Am crew's warning is lost as well. In the fog, each crew strains to make sense of the static. The KLM flight engineer glances up. "Is he not clear then?" The captain answers, "Oh, yes." There is no time for doubt. The controller's last message, masked by the heterodyne, hangs in the air, unheard, unconfirmed. The runway is not empty, but in the cockpit, all that remains is silence, and the expectation that clearance has been given. The next decision will come with engines at full thrust. Engines at full thrust, the KLM 747 surges down the runway, tires clawing at wet tarmac, fog swallowing everything ahead. In the cockpit, hands grip throttles, eyes fixed on flickering instruments. The nose lifts, rotation begins at nearly 150 knots. For a split second, two silhouettes emerge through the haze. The Pan Am 747 is still on the runway, just meters ahead. Van Zanten pulls harder, trying to climb above the obstacle. The nose gear clears, but the main landing gear and lower fuselage strike the Pan Am's upper cabin with a shattering impact. Metal tears, fuel tanks rupture, and flames erupt instantly. In both cockpits, alarms blare, voices shout, but there is no time. The force shears through the Pan Am's fuselage, scattering debris and igniting a firestorm. In seconds, survivability is decided by chance and proximity to the torn metal and burning fuel. Flames race down the shattered cabin, fed by thousands of liters of jet fuel pouring from the ruptured wing. In the forward section of the Pan Am, a handful of passengers and crew are thrown from their seats, stunned but alive. Heat and smoke surge in behind them. Instinct takes over. A stewardess near the front shouts for people to move, her voice cutting through the chaos. She and her colleagues drag open a twisted panel where the fuselage has been torn away, pushing survivors toward the sudden opening above the left wing. Some crawl, others are pulled, faces streaked with blood, hands burned raw. The air is thick with smoke and the roar of burning fuel. Every second counts. Crew members guide, urge, and lift, refusing to leave until the last person within reach is clear. Behind them, fire consumes the cabin, turning seats and luggage to ash. For those who make it out, the world contracts to a patch of scorched tarmac and the stunned silence of survival. On March 27, 1977, 583 lives were lost in a single morning at Los Rodeos Airport, the deadliest accident in aviation history. The official reports confirm that a series of human and technical failures converged. Congested taxiways, dense fog, overlapping radio calls, ambiguous phraseology, and mounting time pressure on fatigued crews. The cockpit voice recorder captured confusion in both 747s as a 3.74-second radio overlap masked a critical hold instruction, leaving both crews uncertain. Investigators identified these failures and, as a direct result, international aviation rules changed. Standardized phraseology, stricter control of radio traffic, and mandatory crew resource management for all airlines. Some questions remain, such as the full influence of psychological stress and the precise timing of certain transmissions, partly due to incomplete recordings. But the evidence is clear. A chain of overlooked risks created a tragedy that shaped modern aviation. Today, every cleared runway, every confirmed instruction, every crew cross-check is a legacy of Tenerife.